Okay. Bless up, everybody. You don't know I am HINDZ, and today in hindsight, we are in a series, officially in a series. I decided we going in deep with this celibacy topic. If you haven't seen the video I posted yesterday, my 3-year celibate story, please go watch that and then come back to this video so you can be caught up to speed, because we will be beginning from where we left off. Now, I had a great response tonight actually from that video. A lot of women hit me up, which was interesting, thanking me, and men too, but women were really thanking me in my DMs. And what does this show us? This shows us that there's a lot of women who are dissatisfied, who are not satisfied, who feel sexually frustrated. So we're gonna touch on this because we need to make sex great again. We need to tune into our best energy, cultivate this energy. And that's what celibacy is all about, right? So today we're really going to be diving into the side of a little bit about semen retention and a little bit how and the reasons why men cheat. Now, I know men and women cheat, but I'm a man, so I need to speak from a man's perspective. I don't want to speak for women, but I'll speak my opinion and honest perspectives, right? Why do men cheat? Now, in the last video, we did talk about how sexual energy is the most dominant force of energy there is. And why is that? Because it's the same energy that sparks the desire to create life, right? You feel sexual energy, you find a mate, you have sex, you create offspring. Evolution. This energy had to be created so divine and powerful for humans to evolve, for humans to repopulate the earth. That's why sex is so good, because it was for our evolution, right? That's where our growth came from. That's why there's so many people on the earth. So that's why it's such a dominant energy. This is facts. This is the proof of why this energy is strong. Now, every great power comes responsibility, right? I need some tea. Hold up. Every great power holds responsibility. So we need to be responsible for a sexual energy. So through my celibate journey, this is where I truly learned how to harness these tools of becoming responsible for my sexual energy, how to use my sexual energy, and most of all, become aware of it and see it as a positive that I can transmute to any area of my life, right? Now, a lot of the most genius men and artists have already known this in previous lifetimes, right? Nikola Tesla, Einstein, we had Steve Jobs, Napoleon Hill, Muhammad Ali wouldn't have sex. Boxers won't have sex about 6 months, it could be 6 months, but I think Muhammad Ali was about 6 weeks prior to a fight, because they understood that their semen, that their juice was a vital life force, right? We know, this is facts, that semen holds a lot of minerals. It holds magnesium, zinc, fats, proteins, vitamin C, B12. It's literally life, right? When we ejaculate, when we bust a nut, when we spill our semen, and again, sorry for the language, but we have to normalize this language so we can talk about it and educate ourselves. When we ejaculate, we are literally giving life. We're giving a piece of us so we can create another human being. The sole factor of sex is to create more human beings and to communicate, right? But when we do give this life, we lose minerals, and it takes about a week to 2 weeks just to regenerate these minerals. So if you're constantly having sex or you're constantly masturbating, you're actually depleting yourself of energy, vital energy, and minerals, actual minerals within your body that you need. You're depleting yourself, and you're going to run yourself dry physically, but most importantly on an energetic level. Now, like I said, a lot of women have been hitting me up, and it seems that they were relieved with what I said when I said that men, most of the times, we're having sex for ourselves because we're thinking about that nut. We're thinking about ejaculation, and we leave the woman there hanging dry. And then what happens when we bust a nut? Most likely we're sleepy because we just lost all the minerals, and we go to sleep, and now we have a deprived woman there who probably loves you, but she's not satisfied. Women are the most nurturing creatures on the earth. We need to nurture them back. This is very important, that we're able to love self and love our women, and vice versa, right? Very, very important. Now, it's not totally our faults. Like, where is the sexual education? When we go to school, the only education I can remember was wrap it up because of STDs, right? There'll be like an assembly and they'll be like, 1 in 4 people are going to have HPV and herpes. And you look around like, whoa. And you know, that's the only thing they taught to us. And then parents, I don't remember being told much about sex either. I just remember being told, oh, wrap it up. Don't get somebody pregnant. And I had a baby pretty young still. I love my daughter. And that's the only education we get. So I say it's not our fault initially, but we had to take ownership and actually go seek the knowledge and wisdom because it's all out there. And luckily for you, I'm presenting to you what I know of already because I'm coming from experience. Like I said in my previous video, I practiced celibacy for 3 years straight and then another 1.5 years. So 4.5 years in the last 6 years, I have some experience in this. And just to let it off and be very personal, through celibacy, quit masturbation. I practiced semen retention to the point when then I had an actual partner, continued to practice semen retention and became successful with it. And I do not ejaculate anymore. I transmute that sexual energy into my creativity and into my higher self. It is facts. I have proven it. It's not just theory. I am doing it and it is beautiful, right? So, more tea. The reason why we see a lot of men cheating, we talked about in the last video, high profiled men and men who aren't high profiled, but we see men always cheating, men always chasing. And this is it's almost like a stereotype, but it's true as well. It's because we don't understand our sexual energy. No one has taught us how to tame it, how to control it, how to transmute it. And until we understand our sexual energy, we're never going to be able to truly honor our women, but we're never going to be able to truly honor ourselves, right? We're never going to be able to be proud and confident within our sexual energy because that is our creative energy, because we're just constantly spilling it. Even through pornographic thoughts, like if you watch porn and you obsess over sex, you're actually leaking energy through these thoughts. Sex is very liberating. Sex is one of the best ways to create energy and transmute energy and communicate energy. Sex is an energy exchange. Sacred energy exchange. SEX. It's like we're kind of in school right now. I kind of like it. I feel like a substitute teacher. So it's a sacred energy exchange. We know this. This is fact. We know now that we're actually exchanging fluids, energy, minerals. We're communicating. And we know that there's a lot of women out there left dry and out. Now, men, I suggested in the last video a book that we can get into. Now, I'm not going to get into the actual practices yet. That will be in a different video. We're just explaining how powerful sexual energy is, right? And about a 1.5 years into celibacy is when I started to really practice semen retention, right? And I learned it through this book. Now, semen retention, if you don't know what I'm talking about, basically it means when you ejaculate, you do not spill it, you actually reverse it, and it comes from your lower chakras to your higher chakras. If you do not like all the woo-woo talk, basically it's not coming out of your body. You actually reverse it. Now, if you're thinking how, this is self-mastery, baby. This is how you become a stronger human being, a superhuman. And I will actually get into more practices about that, but I'm going to refer you to a lot of the knowledge about it, because I think if you're interested, you should go search the knowledge out, but I'll give you tools and I'll give you the information I have as well. It took me about 3.5 years to get to the point where I could have sex with a woman that I was in love with. And while I'm having sex, when I ejaculate, I'm reversing it. No hands, through my conscious mind, through my body. And it was the most beautiful feeling ever, to the point where you realize busting a nut is literally 2 seconds of pleasure. It is like whack. It is the surface level. If I could explain, and I don't even know how to fully explain, there is a whole nother side of having an orgasm for men and women. But for the man, there's a whole nother side of having an orgasm that you can experience that is 1 trillion times better than just ejaculating. It's a full body orgasm. It can last from minutes to 10 minutes to just like the whole state of being for a while. And your woman can feel this, and you guys will literally translate higher and higher in your love, your consciousness, and everything. This is sacred. This is ancient knowledge, and it's just been lost in our times. And fortunately, there are lots of people who tune into this, but the way it's always projected, it just seems like woo-woo. It just seems like spiritual, wish-washy stuff. But this is facts, and hopefully with my videos, I can translate it in a way where even the biggest of skeptics will be interested in these topics, right? So halfway through my celibacy journey in the 3 years, I started to practice semen retention. The only way you can practice semen retention if you're single is through masturbation. Now, I know I said no masturbation. Now, this is different. We're not masturbating because we're trying to seek pleasure. We're masturbating because we're actually training ourselves to not ejaculate. Now, there's actual practices to do this. This is going to be the quickest way for you to actually pleasure your woman. If you're single, you need to do this. You need to get this book. Hit me up on Instagram if you need more tips. Get this book. This is the solution. Another book you can grab, The Way of the Superior Man. An amazing book that also talks about cultivating energy, honoring your woman, and honoring thyself, being a confident man and woman, and how to really truly thrive in a dynamic, right? Like we said before, celibacy is all about energy, right? It's an energy practice. We're cultivating energy. It's a spiritual practice that allows us to truly step into our confident self, step into a version of ourselves that others can feel. You walk in a room, they can feel your aura because you protect your aura. You honor your aura, right? This is where geniuses are made. If you're a man who can literally transmute energy and have control of his sexual energy, you will be the most successful man in the room. Why? Because you're a focused man, and women will respect you that much more and trust you. And when you have a woman that trusts you, what does she do? She nourishes you because she is a woman, the greatest nurturers on this planet. Why do they say behind every great man is a great woman? Which I don't even like that term, but it is true. But you know, behind every great woman is a man as well. But women have the driving force to really elevate a man. Why? Because we're motivated by women. We basically do everything for women. We try to get muscles, try to get money for women. We overcompensate on other things like money and finances, and we lack the actual connection. So we'll have women, we'll literally be with women, having sex with them, thinking we're pleasing them, but we're not. And they don't say nothing because they love us. And then you overcompensate because, you know, you can buy things and you can provide. And this is a very, you know, male way of thinking. We had to come into our divine feminine at the same time and really realize that, hey, we are masculine and feminine. And when we're with our woman, we need to tap into both of these energies so we're in tune with her needs, right? When you're having sex now and you practice these practices, you're not having sex so you can ejaculate. I'm gonna tell you something. Before celibacy, I was only having sex for like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe a half an hour at most. After celibacy, I was having sex for, no lie, on average 1 to 3 hours. It was a journey. It was an experience. You understand? Because I wasn't ejaculating anymore. What happens when you ejaculate? You lose your erection. So if you're not ejaculating anymore, what happens? You stay up, you stay blessed, and you're transmuting energy. You reach different kinds of orgasms, actually ones that you feel through your whole body. It rises from your the lower root to your crown, to your head, and it's truly a beautiful, beautiful feeling. Like I said, I'm not going to give you the actual practices. You need to go seek out the knowledge. What I am going to tell you about, though, is that celibacy is a spiritual practice that everybody needs to tune into. Why? Because once we start having sex, first off, we're never taught anything, right? We start having sex, let's say average person between 16 and 19. We start having sex and we really just have sex for the rest of our lives. And even if you don't have sex for a while, because you just don't have a partner, that's not celibacy. Like we said before, celibacy is all about the intention. The intention and the intention you hold is where the power is. So if you've gone a year or even 2 years without no sex, but you were actually the whole time wanted to really have sex. You just didn't have a partner or couldn't get any. That's not celibacy. That's just like, you just weren't getting none. It's all about the intention. The intention is everything. But going celibate is like going back to school for your health, for your sexual health, for your sexual intimacy, and for your connection. Now, if you're in a relationship, it's going to be very hard to be celibate. But both of you can tune into practices and read and experiment on how you can honor each other and be very honest. Like, do we pleasure each other? Be honest. Like, yo, you too quick. You leave me hanging dry. Like, we have to be honest with each other, because sex is a form of communication. We're communicating through our senses, we're communicating through our breath, and we're communicating through our heart and on all chakras. We literally become one, right? And if you're in it for selfish reasons, you're going to leave. One person will leave feeling fulfilled, but really you're depleted. And the other person is definitely depleted because they just feel used and abused, right? This is why, back to the first point, why men cheat. Men cheat because they do not understand their sexual energy, because no one ever taught them. And then we're literally raised to just be sex machines. They pump porn in our faces so we get unrealistic visions and graphics about sex. Then we go project that onto women and we think that's the way to have sex. It's not truly our fault. Society has pushed this onto us, and unfortunately there's not enough information out there translated in a beautiful, cool way for us to adopt. We need to #make sex great again. Hopefully we can do this. There is so much more to talk about, but I'm going to cut this again because, like I said, this is a few-part series. Men, women, we need to tune into our sexual energy. Men, if you can tune into this, you will be one of the most successful men. I promise you. You will gravitate tons of women towards you, tons of people. You'll be a focused man, and when you get to the top, you will not fall like we see so many times. Look at Bill Clinton in the White House, getting a blowjob in the White House. The most powerful man in the world with a wife, and does something so sloppy like that. That doesn't make sense. Why? Doesn't understand his sexual energy and just uses it, can't control it. It's ridiculous. Literally preschool, toddler. You may be a toddler right now when it comes to your sexual energy, but let's say by the end of 2020 you're going to be in college with it, right? That's the goal. We're going to be doing as much content as we need to on this topic. This channel is definitely not a celibacy channel, but because I've, experimented, and this is very important to me, and I've changed the way I have sex. I literally went from having 15-minute sex, ejaculating and masturbating, to having sex for 2 to 3 hours, not ejaculating, reversing it, literally nothing coming out, reversing it, going up to my crown chakra. If you don't believe in chakras, just I'm powering the fuck up, and I transform my life. And then when I'm not in a relationship, I'm just pushing that into my creativity as long as I'm expressing myself. So if you guys are thinking like, man, this guy's pretty creative, well, now you kind of understand parts of it. We're built with innate gifts, but it's beautiful when we can craft it and use the greatest energy that there is, which is our sexual energy, our creative energy, and, transmute it into our gifts, our self-love, and honor our partners, right? The amount of women that hit me up last night, it was great, but it was also sad. It's sad to know that there's all these women out there not being fulfilled, not being satisfied. And why? A lack of communication and a lack of education. So again, 2 more books that you can get off by The Way of the Superior Man. Now, this is a great book for women as well. So everything I'm saying, women, you have to understand, you are the driving force behind men. So push men, you don't have to, but push men to tune into this type of knowledge. If you're going to come at me, you need to understand these topics. If you're going to come at me, you need to understand your sexual energy, because I got needs. I'm a woman, one of the most divine beings on the planet, right? So inspire these men, because we're inspired by you, to really tap into our sexual energy, and then we will all be cultivating our greatest of energy, and it's just going to be, it'll be beautiful. It will truly be a vibe ting. That's fresh. That's a vibe. So you don't know, in hindsight, everything gonna be all right. We power by Ja. And it's a vibe ting. Please comment, subscribe, like, do all of that. And please, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comment box. That is the best way for me to address your questions. 2 people this week asked me to talk about celibacy, and what did I do? I made 2 videos 2 days later. So I'm listening to the comments. I'm looking at the comments, and you guys will ask something. If I feel I can touch on that, I can resonate with that, I'm at it. I'm shooting videos every single day. So anything you want to know, anything you want to vibrate with, resonate with, let me know. Talk to me in the comments. It's very important that we communicate, that this isn't a one-way street. You guys are doing great so far. Let's keep it going. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.